Welcome back. Get ready to turn on dark mode. We're here to not talk about working in IT, but we're going to talk about video games, tech, and everything
Okay.
outside the 9 to 5. I'm one of your hosts, Taylor Foy Muse.
And I'm Keegan Lassard.
You know what? We didn't think of a new intro because we were working
We
on other
yeah,
things.
we that and I think your slap on my face just knocked all sense out of everything. So,
It's recovered a little bit. It was like a lot more red before. Like, I'm telling
yeah,
you.
yeah.
How's
It's
it, how's
gonna
it
I thought it
feel?
was gonna bruise.
How's it feel?
I thought it was gonna bruise. For sure.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm sorry, my dude.
But
It had
you
to be
know.
done though. I mean, I was right.
It's just another day in the office over here, you know?
What? We doing wardrobe changes?
Dude, I'm a whole new person.
New season?
Whole
New
new.
you?
New season. I'm Kevin now.
Kevin
Just
who?
Kevin. I don't have a last name. Last names are like so 2019.
Who is Kevin? Tell me about Kevin.
Dude, Kevin's lived everywhere, bro.
Does
Kevin doesn't even have a job, but he's been everywhere.
Gibbs, do
He's
you
one
know
of those
Kevin?
dude, Kevin's one of those dudes that like has no job but yet still travels, and you're like, from what?
Are you just trying to live vicariously through a new persona?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right,
Because if
well,
I can't do it in, actual 2020, I might as well be Kevin.
I suppose. I mean, like, to be fair, we got not it's not a new year yet, but you're ready for this new year to be over.
It already, yeah. I mean, I'm already in 2021 over here.
Exactly. So you're
Kevin lives in the year he chooses.
okay, I feel you. So can I ask how you've been, or is it how has Keegan been?
How Kevin's been?
Kevin been.
Kevin's great. Dude, Kevin has everything he needs. He's got a van. I mean,
Is it down
go
by the
anywhere you
river?
want. No, it ain't by the river. It's by the creek. Um,
Oh
he's
my
got a van.
gosh.
Doesn't have a job he has to worry about. So I mean, he's just living his life, getting that unemployment check.
All right. Well, I'm glad it took the new season, new set for this to come out because I would have been like, get this shit out of here if it came out earlier. So we'll allow it for a little bit. But I mean, we're back season 2, we're calling it 2.0, like software. But I mean,
2.0, yeah, yeah.
like usually softwares have names and stuff. So like we don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna start naming it random shit. Like how Android, they name them after desserts. And then you got
Yeah.
Apple out here naming their Mac OSs after places in California, like landmarks. I mean,
Well, oh, is that really? That like went over my head for so long.
yeah, because you got like Big Sur, which is I don't even know what that is, to be honest, but you got like Mojave, you got, Catalina. These are all places like landmarks or
Oh, the
landscapes.
Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah, exactly. So should we just
Um,
start naming them after animals? Like this is just dark mode 2.0 tiger.
oh shit. I mean, if Kevin had a choice, he'd be like a liger. But yeah, I like tiger, dude. That's fucking. It's hot. It's hot.
So now do we have to get two opinions for everything now?
Nah, you're right. This is complicated.
He's like, I'm done. Well, at least you still got the Carhartt hat. The Carhartt hat. The trademarked. Hey, we're not sponsored yet. You can't flip the label forward.
Oh shit. Oh shit. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh. All right, Keegan, tell me what you've been up to.
Oh man, work. I'm just kidding. We don't talk about work anymore. Baldur's Gate 3, Crusader Kings 3, and Wastelanders 3.
So you're doing the same
So
shit you were doing
I'm
weeks ago.
just
Still
I'm
cranking.
just 3. Yeah, but Crusader Kings 3 more often than not, actually.
Yeah. To be fair, you haven't really talked about that game at all.
Yeah, I've had an itch for strategy, man. I got to get back to my roots, back to my speciality, because I'm a pro gamer. So kind of have to strut my strategic ability. Okay, it's season 2. I'm out here.
All right. All right.
I just reclaimed Ireland in Crusader Kings 3. What up? All right. But no, I've been playing that a lot. And it's like a good like lunchtime work from home game to play and boot up because like if something did pop up at work, it's not like I have to have my full attention to a strategy game. You can hit pause. Like you can do minor decisions throughout the workday if you wanted to have it just up in the it's like the equivalent of watching a movie. Like you don't really
Yeah.
have to It's not really extensive to your like focus. So that's been kind of my main thing right now. Baldur's Gate 3 obviously has been a steady grind, but outside of that, that and Hades,
So you
those are
haven't
the
finished
side.
the first act yet?
No. I actually recreated a new character. So you know how last time I said it took me like 2 hours to make a character? Yeah, I went back in and then I made a new character. And
Was it before or after they called out the player base for being boring? Did you hear about that? They said you
yeah,
guys
I
are
did.
making boring ass characters. You've basically
Yeah.
recreated the default Vault Hunter.
Yeah, no, my first character was not even human, so I wasn't really part of that group.
Okay.
But they made a lot of new updates, so it's like as they're patching things, I wanted to retry different things.
Okay.
But I think I finally created a character that like I want to take to the end. Because once I realized they fixed some of their rule sets, then I basically based on how they do their attributes and skills, I rearranged the opening character. So I did that, and now I've gotten through a steady chunk of it. So
Nice.
a beefy mount.
I haven't done much else like other than like I played Control a little bit. I talked about that last week, but like it's just been me and Gibbs grinding on finding this new set. Like
You and Giz just grinding.
yeah, we were trying to find some open rent, like what's on the market. And with COVID, there's a lot. There's a
Rent
lot available. Yeah, we're paying rent on this place. It's coming out of your paycheck next week.
coming out of Gibbs' paycheck, his non-existent pay.
Well, see, like this is just added benefit that he helps. He has some connections, we're here now. But
Yeah, we're in Gibbs' basement.
we had some problems, like this screen behind us, like it used to move, but it got caught on some freeze frame stuff, and now we're not moving. We're just dark mode, no movement.
We're just stationary mode.
All right, fair enough. But I'm loving the new set. I don't know about you. You guys, more cameras in here. Gibbs still stuffed in the corner. He doesn't want to be
It's a
on
little cold,
screen, so it's a little cold.
a
Is
little
that why
bit,
you're wearing a jacket
and a hat. Yep.
and a hat, bro? I'm over here. I got like the
Well,
short
it's also
sleeve
like
on,
dropped like 30 degrees in like 2 days.
but that's outside
This
though.
what
We're
this
inside.
weather needs to. Oh, okay.
Don't talk to me about that outside stuff. But for like, let's just get on with it. The reason why
Okay.
we
Okay.
actually came into the office today, into the studio, the new studio, was to talk
Mm-hmm.
about Apple's event. Because we weren't gonna wait 2 weeks for it, and we already said I was right about them pricing it.
Hence the slap.
Yeah, the
Yep.
slab, your cheeks, they're not red anymore, but
And may
they
I
still
say,
hurting.
there still was a model that fit my bet, but I'm not gonna go there.
Okay, that's fair. Let's just say this. Technically, we were talking about, iPhone prices going up or going down.
Mm-hmm.
But based on what I said, I went back and I listened to previous episode. I was saying that I saw articles that were showing that the price was going to start at over $1,000, which that implies that it's the Pro model because that's the only one that is that cost. So like
Okay.
I was like, no, I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe they're going to give you either less or the same price. And what they did is they gave you the same phone, but with the higher capacity at the same price. But then technically they took out the AC adapter. So it's like, how much is that worth? Like, I'm not trying to get into that. Also,
Yeah.
they took out the headphones, but we talked about that in a prior episode about how they were going to take that out because they were like, everybody has that already. And if you're like an Android person coming over, like, I guess it makes it less enticing for you to come over because now you got to buy those parts, but you still technically can use your Android AC adapter, just not the headphone. But anyway,
Yeah.
the
That's
iPhone
true.
12 technically went up by $100. iPhone 11 was $700 and the iPhone 12 is 800. But then they have a mini version that is now 700. So that's too technical. I was still right about the iPhone Pro. So
Yeah. I mean, I received the slap.
I know.
If I actually felt I didn't lose, I would have fought tooth and nail to not get slapped.
That is fair.
So
That is fair. So like the fact that like I know people might be like, "Oh, technicalities and all that kind of crap," but it's like you've accepted it and we're not at odds. It's not like you're
you know
still
what?
like,
Actually, screw that. In the comments, Team Keegan,
"Oh,
let
no,
us
no, no, no,
know.
no. No, oh, you're
Hit
Kevin
the
now. Hey,
like.
I don't know who
Hit,
Keegan is. You're Kevin."
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, no,
In
no,
the
don't put them back on. Oh my.
in the comment section, go down there, go downstairs, go in the comment section, before that, hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. And then say whether or not
Scripted.
you're team Kevin or this loser over here, team, you know, Taylor. I don't even have a fake name for you.
Well,
Just
that's because I'm
Taylor.
not fake dressed up. Like, I ain't got shades
Man,
in.
this ain't fake. I'm Kevin, dude.
Oh my goodness.
All day.
iPhone event. Let's get back to it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
announced plenty of crap. Like, and when I say plenty, I mean three things. They announced a HomePod, they announced an iPhone 12 with the mini, and then they announced the
Mm-hmm.
Pro with the Plus. And I don't know, man. I mean, like the let's start with the HomePod. Nobody
Okay.
fucking wants it. Like I
Well,
I don't
can't
even
say
know
nobody.
I don't even know why it's a thing. Like they made a mini because it's cheaper, but when you compare it to any other thing at its price point,
Might as
it's
well just get the
way
Pixel
more
5.
expensive.
Yeah.
What? How are we
You might
go
as well just get.
I'm not I'm talking about the speaker.
Oh, you're talking about the speaker. I thought you were talking about the
I
mini.
said no, oh, okay. I get your confusion here.
Okay.
The
God, I was like,
iPhone, the iPhone mini is a thing, yes, but I am saying there is an or a HomePod mini,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is a
Yeah,
speaker.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's $99 when like Apple or no, excuse me, Alexa's Dot and then the Google Mini, those are like 40 or $50, like somewhere in there. So people are kind of
Dude,
like, you really have to be just like guzzling the Apple ecosystem Kool-Aid to want that.
I
Like
thought you're. I did not think you were gonna say Kool-Aid. Um, but I will say one thing: the the Echo Dot, right? That's like compared to that, or like the Google, whatever Google's is.
Yeah.
It was $18 on Amazon Prime Day.
Well, that's also because they like literally just like throw their shit out on Prime Day.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, Google was giving theirs free to just anybody that had a Spotify membership.
yeah,
So
that's how I
then,
got mine.
and then Apple's like, we need $100 if you want our product. And everyone's just like, well, okay,
Yeah. No, I guess
what's
like
yours do?
there's some cool things about it, but like not worth the price tag in my opinion. They're marketing this towards families that are like so buried in the ecosystem. Everybody has iPhones. There's like an intercom system. So we're like if you have them in your house in different rooms, like obviously like you can sync audio from music, but like somebody can like get the intercom and talk like, "Hey Siri, let the house know blank," and then she'll spit it back your voice. And it's like everybody I was watching it on Twitch. I love watching these on Twitch now cuz people just like love to roast. And then like obviously there's a lot of Android fanboys in there, so they're just like, "Why would you want that? Maybe just yell?" Like use your voice. And I'm just
Well,
dying laughing.
Amazon though, like, it's not your voice, but you can send alerts and messages through an intercom almost like that with their ecosystem as well.
Yeah.
So
I
like,
don't doubt that.
I always find it funny when Apple promotes like old technology with their twist,
Yep.
and then they always find one way, and it's usually just by personalization. So them being like, it's your voice, like, that's typical Apple, like making like old feature look nice and polished and new.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, like, that's their tagline. That's their method. Like, and it can work in some areas. In other areas, it's like too late. Like, it took them forever to get 4K on their Apple TV. Like, that was a joke, right? So, in this instance, like, I don't really think this is anything game changing. They had like some sort of NFC looking thing where you could like put your phone close to it to like pair it fast, like old stuff, right? But like what I find that happens is that like even though I'll be bashing on Apple for coming to the game like super late, right? But like they'll put their twist on it and it'll be pretty polished. There'll be some flair that they toss on it that as soon as they've done it, all these other companies that have had it for years that didn't do shit with it start doing what they added. And it's like, okay, well, if these places like didn't have the personalized voice thing, I bet you Alexa's suddenly gonna start being able to do that. Like
yeah,
over the air update. So that's where I'm just kind of like, yeah, like you always give Apple crap, and I do too. Like, all right, this is super late, but it's like I bet you we're gonna start seeing like this stuff to like other competitors pretty soon. And it's
And
just
if
kind of a funny
I mean, if
cycle.
they do, it's more of just to prove that they could have, they've had it, and that it's not that hard to implement. But I don't know if you've ever been in a house where you've gotten an unexpected message come through those,
Oh, it's
but
terrifying.
it's terrifying.
I would hate that.
So to me, this feature sounds awful, even if it's a person,
Oh,
because
like
especially if somebody's voice,
yeah.
especially if it's somebody's voice.
Well, I think Siri gives you a heads up, but yeah, hearing Siri out of nowhere, but it gives you like the chime. Siri's like incoming message from like dad or something, and then it's his voice. Like weird. So the
Yeah,
HomePod,
hard
I don't
pass.
know. I've never tried one. I've heard they're inconvenient to use because they don't even use Bluetooth. They use Wi-Fi AirPlay. So it's like it's very inconvenient. I don't think you can use one without an iPhone. So if a friend came over and wanted to hook up, can't.
Oh well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but it's dumb. So I
Yeah, I
I
mean
I would
that's
never
just
get one. I hear they're good speakers though, which is funny, but I would never get one. All right, meat and potatoes time. The iPhone 12. Now, let me
Are you
say
buying it?
just let me get into it first. Hold on. Hold on. There's 4 phones to choose from here. This is the first year where I didn't know immediately which one I wanted. Like normally, like I'm just like, okay, the Pro is worth the price to me. Like it's what I'm gonna go for. Like the budget one is too budget or like it's missing too much. And this year, their base model phones are just like pretty much anything you could ever want. Like, you know how you say we're reaching a plateau in phones, like we're not getting really anywhere else. Like they added the 5G on the iPhone 12 and they added a mini version. Yes, and in air quotes because 5G is still very early. Like it's not
And it's not
something
real.
it's oh my gosh. It's not something that you want to like invest in now, go out of your way. But since like the price of the Pro phone is pretty much the same as the last year's, it's like, okay, well, why not? Technically the iPhone 12 base model is more. But anyway, I'm going all over the place. They added the 5G and then they have like, you know, a little bit of updates to the camera, but then they drastically changed air quotes drastically changed the design. They were selling it and it's like, okay, you guys literally just made flat edges again. We went back to iPhone 4 in 5 days. Like nothing special. They were like all new. And it's like, no, you guys like went back. Like you should have been like throwback design. Like that's what they should have said or something. But
Yeah.
anyway, like this phone was pretty much like, okay, I think I'll get the main one because it's got pretty much everything you want and it's like 700-800 bucks. I'll save some cash. And they announced the mini and they straight up said, like, we think this will be our most popular or something like we think this one will sell very well because they know like, you know, people complain about having really big ass phones and like they never stop getting bigger. So then they made one that's smaller than the iPhone 8 but the screen is bigger because it's the full edge to edge thing, still with the notch. But then that was kind of where like, oh, I want that because I like the form factor of the iPhone 8, but I hated how it had the fat forehead and chin on it. So it was like we should get in like the full screen variant on that, and here it is. And I was like all for it. I'm like, I don't care what the Pro has. The Pro can just like not be a thing. But then they showed the Pro. Oh, and by the way, the mini has the same exact functionality as the 12. They didn't like dumb it down at all. It's the exact same phone, just smaller for 100 bucks cheaper. And then they're like, okay, here's the Pro. Now, the Pro pissed me off because like there's nothing new about it. It's literally like we added an extravagant camera and then it's got the aluminum build quality, like, or not, excuse me, aluminum. That's the 12. It's got the stainless steel build quality and it's got like a lidar sensor which is like some tech that they use for like uh capturing like depth of field in the dark and like mapping out rooms and like AR stuff and apparently like high-end cameras and like technology uses it like NASA uses it when they're like trying to go to Mars and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so like crap I'll never use, right? And I the whole time I'm holding my breath like, all right, we're going to get 120 hertz display cuz like that's what they were they were like rumored to have. And no, they don't have it. So I'm like, okay, like now I don't want the 12 or the 12 Pro. But then like I'm starting to look at the specs. iPhone 12 Pro starts at 128 gigabytes for $999. If you get an iPhone 12 normal with base model, it starts at 64 gigs. If you add an extra 64 gigs to get to the 128, you're now at like $900. It's like, okay, well, you might as well just pay the 99 extra bucks for that premium feel. Because to be honest, I don't like the way those aluminum phones feel because they're slippery as shit. Like, I
Yeah.
don't like using the case unless I like go out like on a night out, I'll put a case on it, or like I don't know, any place where I think I might drop it. But like I have test phones for work that have the aluminum on it, and those things are so much more slippery than my thing. So I'm like, all right, that's a $99 price difference. So now I'm like, all right, maybe I'll just get the Pro then. But I'm like, I can't decide because I'm not gonna like make full use of the camera. And I'm like, okay, am I gonna waste money? And then when I like did the math of or not the math, but I was like the mini would be a $200 save. But then it's the same tech in a smaller phone, which means smaller battery, which is worse battery life. And it was like a significant chunk less. It was like several hours less. So I was like, you know what? I'm not getting the 12 because that's like almost the same price as the Pro. So I'm like, all right. Finally, after like a day and a half, I arrived at the Pro. It took me that long to get it. And I don't know if that says anything about just like too similar of products or if it's like they finally made it so where all of their options are viable. So I want to get your opinion on how dumb I'm being.
I okay. This is the first. All right. I don't think you're being dumb.
Okay,
Um.
that's reassuring to hear because I got the 12 on pre-order. I'm getting it tomorrow at 7 a.m. We're
Okay.
recording on Thursday night. It goes live on Friday morning.
All right. My thought process was, first of all, wow, I actually watched an Apple event.
You watched
Second
it?
of all, yeah,
I didn't think you did.
yeah. Second of all,
So you could have just stopped me on all that. I was thought I was catching you up, my guy. You just listened to me ramble for like 20 minutes. And I'm, all right, go on.
I was like, oh, he's just really wanting to educate the listeners. Um,
Man, you never told me that you watched it.
I was gonna surprise you with it, but you just went, and I was like, I'm gonna let him go.
I'm not gonna lie. You should have just like, all right, shut up, bro. I watched it, and then we could have gave an abridged version. All right,
All
I'm
right,
sorry. Carry on.
you're good. You're good. So I had like similar thought process that you did. And for once I was like, wow, I kind of like the way the Apple was going with it because I always thought that they were like either way too expensive or you were just like not getting your like value for going the cheaper route, right?
Yeah.
Um and then I thought, oh, that's really interesting what they're doing with pre-orders and how they're holding back so that way they can, make sure the pros go first versus the minis.
So it's not just the Pro. Like this is my what do you call it? My inference. Like this is what I think they're doing, which might be a five head move. It might be real smart. Now, with the fact that like everything is so high demand right now, they said in the event that the iPhone 12 mini was probably going to sell like hotcakes. So
Right.
the 12 normal and the 12 Pro, they're shipping they're opening for pre-order this Friday. The 12 mini, which they think is the most popular, they're putting a month out. Now, I bet you it's done already. But what they're going to do is they're going to try to wean out the people that are too impatient to wait for the mini by giving like all right, get this one. So now there's a little bit less demand when it comes around to that. And I was like that's so smart.
Yeah, that's so I was like, oh, like kudos on them because lately with pre-orders and online ordering, it's been a shit show.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, okay, cool. That's not gonna be like a news headline. I think that they're gonna handle the demand pretty well.
Yeah.
Um, then I moved to the phone, and ultimately my thought process on the phone industry stays pretty much the same.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I agree.
they're proving that all these features that are glorified that they're improving every year can be just shoved into a small phone at this point. with the mini, when they said that, oh, it pretty much does everything the iPhone 12 does with like a smaller battery, I was like, okay, so we really have become to like a full optimized like phone. Like we've really plateaued at it.
Yeah.
And then I was like waiting for the iPhone 12 Pro to like come out with something crazy, and it was like no. I
Yeah.
was like, okay. And so I wasn't really surprised by that, but then I was like, well, then I can see why they're thinking people are going to buy the minis, because to me that's like the most economic, and in this time people are probably looking for the most economic route.
Mhm.
So I can see why that's going to sell like hotcakes, but like my problem with phone storage, because I know you don't have this problem, and when it's not, you don't have this problem, you just know you need the storage. I don't. And I don't know if that's just because I'm a Pixel user, because Google has it optimized where when you take photos or save photos, it's all through the cloud and
Mhm.
you're given a ton of storage. Um, but app downloads, Spotify downloads, I don't really utilize that because I have unlimited data for Spotify, and I don't really download or save that much to my actual phone. So whenever a phone comes out and they're like, "Oh, we have 128 gigs," or it's 64 base model, I always go base model because I don't really need that extra storage. And so when you were kind of, for you, it makes sense to go to the iPhone Pro because you might as well with that extra 90, what was it, $99 just basically to upgrade.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense, but to like an average user, like I think the iPhone Pro, it won't be as enticing. It won't be as like, at least to like the, it might be for like people that are not very spec detail oriented. They just go for the
Well, you know what's funny? Like somebody who is very spec detail oriented, like Marquise Brownlee, MKBHD, like a lot of people go to him for like iPhone and Android news and all their tech. And straight up tweeted, if you're looking for that one feature that's gonna make you want to get the Pro over to 12, there isn't one. He was like,
yeah.
this year there isn't one. And everybody was like, dang, all right, 12 it is.
Yeah, it's just, so I don't know if that's just mainly people are gonna buy that just to say that they have an iPhone 12 Pro or what, but
I got a friend that was like, dude, you can't be shown, you can't be seen with that iPhone 12 mini. He's like, you can't come to my wedding with that thing. I was like, this isn't status. Like, this isn't flexing. He's like, you know, you can't do it. And like, he was a little bit integral in like me being like, that Pro is a little bit more premium feel. Like, and since I have technically the Pro model from 2 years ago, the 10S, uh, it has that premium feel. So like going backwards almost would feel like weird, you know?
but even within iPhone's OS, you don't really get a huge feeling of being in the
Oh, yeah,
Pro.
I'm not talking about OS at all. I'm talking about, like, the build quality, because like,
Yeah, yeah.
they're gonna have, like, the stainless steel sides, for one, because I don't use a case very often, anytime I, like, set it down on the table or, like, it does take a small fall, like, those scratches and dings will happen, but stainless steel, it doesn't show up as more, whereas if you get the aluminum, you could sneeze on that shit and it'll scratch. Like, I have, an aluminum Model 10R for work, and like I was working outside and I had an umbrella canopy, like, and the wind just took it. And then like it slid like slightly off the table and hit like the chair and then slowly slid to the concrete, right? But I was trying to like not like make my laptop fall. It took a small little hit and it looks like I chucked it at the ground. Like it's bad. So I don't know. I think they kind of it's like they suckered me a little bit, but then like I think the fact that the phones are so close in price now that it's kind of like that's why I went for it.
I mean, I'm not so. I mean, I wasn't going to this event thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna get an Apple this year," but I, it just, I think phone news is just waiting for something to happen, I guess. And 5G, the reason why I put the air quotes around 5G, this is another topic I wanted to hit. It drives me nuts that when these campaigns come out, because we really haven't reached the fifth generation of phone technology, and that's what that stands for. And the same thing happened with 4G when it first came out. We
Mhm.
didn't hit 4G until LTE technology came out. And then that's why its name went to LTE. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. So like when they hop on these things and expect their internet speeds to be so much greater, it's almost placebo effect, because
Yeah,
nothing really has changed until we're at a point where you can download down a gigabyte per second over a Wi-Fi signal. We haven't reached the fifth generation of technology.
true.
And some people have different markers, but to me, that's a major one, and we still haven't really hit that. So, that's another thing that I just like a small thing. I just wish one company would be like, "No, we aren't really 5G yet." But I know that they would lose so many sales because people would the
Well, I think it's dependent on how you approach, like, not saying like we're not doing it yet, but like tell your people like basically it's not ready yet, or like don't worry about it. Like Verizon is weird in the sense that they only had it in a few countries, right? Or not countries, cities, and they were kind of like bragging about that. Like we're 5G ready. And it's like, no, you're not. I looked at T-Mobile's. Oh, and also they charge you extra to use it because of course it's Verizon. They
classic.
want their money.
Yeah.
T-Mobile is like, hey guys, if you have an unlimited plan, 5G is free, no extra cost. And yeah, it's pretty much everywhere right now. And I looked at their map, and I know it's probably kind of like spotty because it's still early in like the speeds. I mean, the spotty. The coverage was pretty damn solid. Like it was in way more than a few major cities. And like I was like, oh, I could pretty much go to like anywhere that's not the middle of the desert and have 5G. Like
And
it
also
was
those coverage maps are a little misleading sometimes,
true,
though.
true. And not like obviously in practice it'll be a little different, but I think the fact that they are saying it's free at no extra cost if you have a data plan already. So it's like you pretty much won't even notice it's there, but you can benefit from it if you need. So it's like you have the option. Now, I've heard people like, then why are they even putting 5G in phones yet? And it's like, okay, well, think about it. Not everybody upgrades every single year. I even upgrade usually every 2 years. Now, this year I went with the Apple upgrade program simply because even if I choose not to upgrade next year, I don't pay any more in the financing. It's zero interest and it includes Apple Care. So I spend the same amount of money as if I just drop that money tomorrow versus over the 2 years. And I have the option to upgrade next year. So I'm trying it out. I'll see. Hit me up in a year if it was worth it. Now, a lot of people they keep their phones for more than 2 years. Like I have plenty of family members and friends that have like a phone that's like 3, 4 years old. Now it might be kind of like starting to kick the dust towards the end, but like for that first 3 years is pretty solid. Now, 5G isn't ready now, but in a few years it will be. So they got to future proof the phone. They don't want to like release a model only when it's ready because then all the people that have all their old phones, which will be a vast majority of people that aren't early adopters, won't buy into it. So it's kind of just like getting yourself ready for it.
Also, with 5G or just the next generation, it's also a game between the different internet providers,
Hmm.
and basically like whoever's because they don't want to be they don't want to be in second place when it comes to saying that they have it.
Yeah.
So as soon as they get a few towers up and they get to a point where they think their metrics are kind of nice,
We're
they'll just say
there.
we're 5G ready. And then basically once one person goes, all people go.
Yeah.
Um which it's just business and marketing and making sure that your products have an integrity to uphold, because you don't want to be seen as somebody you don't want to be one thing. Apple's made a good strategy where they don't care anymore, but
Yeah.
for the most part you don't want your technology to be seen like it's outdated, whereas
True.
Apple's just like, our stuff looks always good and we always make sure it's polished. That's why
Yeah.
we're behind, and they just full send it. But so that's why I don't know. I could do a whole episode on why 5G is fake right now.
Oh
But I don't
yeah.
want to go I don't want to go conspiracy theory. It's there. The towers exist. I'm not saying anything like that, but
It's just too early. It's way too early.
and I
And
have this problem every generation. Every
mhm,
generation's too early. 3G was too early. 4G was too early.
I d- I don't even remember the transition of 3G. Like I didn't have a phone at that time. I was a late phone person because like my
iPod
parents were
Touch,
just like,
man.
but like that didn't have 3G
Or
capabilities.
why did I say iPod Touch? Never mind. Sorry.
What did you have though?
I had an iPhone like 5. I don't know why I said iPod Touch.
Okay, well, I mean,
Anyways.
anyway, the iPhone event, yeah, I don't want to go through like every single spec. Like we talked a lot about just the general aspects. You can look up the spec sheet if you want, but just know that they're pretty solid phones. They're nothing spectacular from that last year's, but if you've been 2 years, 3 years since you've upgraded, definitely worth looking into. Um, I got the Pro, or I keep saying I got. I haven't gotten it yet. By the time this releases, hopefully I will have. But like with the demand on stuff, like I don't know. I got pre-approved for the loan on the upgrade program, so tomorrow all I have to do is just go and like hit check out. Like I don't have to like enter billing information, which is nice. So I'm hoping it'll be quick and easy. But today as well, I got a notification that Founders Edition 3080s were back in stock at Best Buy, and I saw the add to cart button. I added it to cart. I entered in all my information. I even pressed the purchase button. I got the security code for my bank. I entered the security code. I hit confirm. It said out of stock. I said, boy, are you kidding me? I was like, I literally had to just like choke on the anger. Like I just like, I was ready to just throw some shit. And I was just like, all right, you know what? I'll never get one. It's all right. So that was a bad experience leading up to the fact that I also want to get this iPhone tomorrow. So I'm hoping that goes smoother.
I know.
But if I do get it, it'll be here next Friday. So bang bang.
Bang bang, dude. You know what else will be here soon?
What?
A new season of Dexter. Nobody asked for it, but we're getting it.
Excuse me. Whose idea was this?
Not mine. I say after season 4 or 5, you could probably just cut that off, but they want another season, and Michael C. Hall is returning for one season only.
So here's what I was ready to hate, because I was like, you know, it's not going to be any better. But then one of my friends straight up was like, there is absolutely no way it's worse than that last season. Like, he's like, you really can't make it worse. He's like, I don't think it's gonna live up to the first 4 seasons, because those are excellent TV. But like, at least it's got the original Michael C. Hall as Dexter.
Yep.
Like, if that wasn't there, you could literally burn it with fire. Like,
well, I don't know what they would have done.
I don't either. But like, we're in this whole culture of reboots where they start stuff over. So like, they said it's not going to just be a continuation. So like, it has to sort of reboot it somehow. It's going to be a limited 10 episode series. Like, there's going to have to be like an actual beginning and end. Like, what are they going to do? Tell his origin story again? Like early days? Like, I don't know, but I'll watch it.
He's also older, so like
the actual actor is older.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he might be training a new kid.
But like, I've been watching him in recent stuff lately, and he doesn't look like, I mean, obviously they would do the
I'm just saying they couldn't do a prequel. Like, I don't know how much makeup.
Oh, yeah. But like, he's not like he's gotten past his prime old, you know, like he still can play Dexter. Like, he's still
like,
young
for sure.
But yeah, that threw me off, man. I straight up, like, it was one of those where you grab the phone and you just like whose idea? I just couldn't wrap my head around it.
I wasn't even like, I was just like, I was already so mad at like how things went. I mean, after season 5, each season I'd be like, why are we? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Why are you dating her? Wait, hold on. What is going on?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I finished the show out, because like I'm not that kind of person that can just like quit halfway in that series.
Oh, you should definitely watch the whole show. It's like the same reason I would tell people to watch all of Game of Thrones, even though the last season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. But like, some people are straight up like, it's not worth the watch. And I guess to them it's that bad, you know, they want to cut it off. But like, it's very hard for something to be so bad where I'm like, I don't want to finish it after I am like 4 seasons in. Like, that's a lot to commit to then just like give up.
Oh, you know what? I take that back. OA season 2 you can skip 100%.
But see, you're only 1 season deep by that point.
That's true.
So like, that's a good cutoff, right? But like, if you're like 3, 4, 5 seasons into a show and then you quit and you've really only made it halfway, and this is also when all of it is out, you know. It's different when the show is like, you've caught up at season 5. They still have another 3 seasons in the pipeline, but you have to wait to watch them. I can understand losing interest then because it's like I don't
Yeah.
even feel like coming back. But when it's like right there, it's like why not?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially in this time, like you have time to watch TV. Like,
Yeah. Well, you know what? You had time for today an 11-minute video from Sony about the UI of the PlayStation 5. Now,
I
you had some interesting thoughts on it, so just hit me with them.
well, here's I they like don't get me wrong, and it looks sleek, it looks fine. Like to me, these are whenever these come out, like with the consoles, like Xbox had a similar thing, and it was like a quick thing. I don't really care like what the I mean I'm not like this isn't a decider for me,
Yeah.
but I will say like some of the things that they were advertising, all I could think was okay, so this is for only your PlayStation 5 exclusives because some of it was like they were doing like uh hours to complete per level metrics and stuff like that, and I'm like no way are game developers starting to incorporate into that like a lot of
It
that
won't be
I've
widespread, I don't think. Yeah.
so like a lot of that I was like that's gonna be really specific to like a few games like but my main beef with that video was I was like this is not like an 11-minute let's break it down, this is big news video because really there wasn't that much to show. Like they were just like hopping in and out of games, they were showing some of the social elements, that's great. But man, an 11-minute video for that? Nah, like 11-minute video is you breaking down like I don't know, something way more important than the UI choices you guys made, you know?
Yeah, they definitely could have streamlined it better because there was a lot of the dude just like talking at a not moving screen. They could have just been like, "Here's this part, here's that part." But like I watched it, like I actually woke up and then like after like 2 minutes of being awake, I got a tweet notification and it was like, "Oh, check out our UI," and I just clicked on it and I watched all 11 minutes and 25 seconds or whatever, and it went by quick to me. But like I also like was I'm drinking the Kool Aid, like I'm excited about it. So, but the funny thing is though, like the early days especially, but the UI with these features you're talking about with like the time to complete and the guides and stuff being PlayStation exclusive,
Yeah.
like that's again that's why people are so excited for the PlayStation. Like they want those exclusive games, and in our boat, any non-exclusive games we're getting on PC, so like you're going to be able to utilize that functionality for the main games you get on the console. And this doesn't mean like no third party people are going to do it. Like I bet you like the big ones, Ubisoft and EA, they're going to take advantage of it. Like especially in stuff like um I bet they take maybe not like guides, but they'll have some sort of like thing that they do with like FIFA or like Assassin's Creed. And like I feel like the other places will take it or other companies will take advantage of it in different ways. But yeah, I don't want to like expect every single company to be using it. But I
Yeah,
like how clean it was. That's the
it
positive of it.
it
Like
was
it looks
clean.
very clean.
My main thing is that like a lot of those videos like that, I almost wish there was no audio, like nobody talking over it. I
Yeah.
almost would rather have it been like music and just like the gameplay and like them walking through it all.
Yeah.
And then that would have been kind of dope to me because then it would have been me realizing the cool things they're showing rather than some dude that like doesn't really want to do voiceover. He was just a developer on the thing and talking through it.
Yeah, and ironically enough, like they showed like the boot up noise and I forgot to cue it up here, but
Oh, the
like
Burger King ad.
yeah, they showed it. They I mean, they already had revealed it before, I think, but like they showed it in the Burger King ad or you heard it. And it's pleasant and it's more like a natural boot up sound where the PS4 didn't really have one. It just started up and then just started playing music. So this one has like an actual noise that I'll hear every time I boot it up, and I like that. That's like throwback. So,
Yeah,
but uh, the one thing that was missing that I hope they add or we just didn't get to see because they said there's still so much more we didn't show, but like they showed the game area and I didn't see it, is a playtime counter. I
yeah.
want
What's
that.
with that? Yeah,
Do they have that on Xbox?
no,
What like
not that
why
I.
don't they
Not,
do this on consoles?
I don't know. I really don't, and it bothers me.
Cause like I like seeing how much time I waste on this shit.
Yeah, me too. Like, I want to know.
But like that's why I love playing games on Steam because I have it all in one collective place. But it seems like all the games that I end up spending the most time on aren't in Steam, like Call of Duty, that's on BattleNet, Overwatch, also on BattleNet. I played a lot of like Battlefield One, EA Origin, like all the multiplayer games that I end up playing, the first person shooters like aren't really on Steam. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I hope they add it later. It would be a simple patch. I mean, all you gotta do is keep track of it. They already are because every year's end, Sony sends you a hourly count update. Like, here's what you spent on games this year. It's like, all right, hey fam, just kindly put that on my UI so I can see. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know, but I don't know. There's still so much more that's left to see, and like you said, they could have shortened it up and then like left the rest of the surprise for when it comes out. But I mean,
Yeah.
I still don't even know if I'm getting one. Like, I kind of stopped caring because I really just want to get the GPU and call it a day, a year,
I
really.
just want
And
to play
then,
Cyberpunk, so that's all I care
yeah, that's what I'm
about.
saying. But like, I need that beefy upgrade. Like, you have a nice GPU now, right? My GPU's 3 years old. It's gonna be struggling playing Cyberpunk. I mean, like I told you how Control just makes it like shit on itself. So
Well, their specs that they released were pretty minor, like from what people expected.
yeah, but that's usually like 1080p 60, and I'm trying to hit 1440 above 60. So like when I'm not getting that, I get mad, you know. So like I'll
Yeah.
probably have to do the downscale or well rendered 1080 upscale to 1440 if I'm trying to get nice frames until I can get the 3080. If they
Okay.
don't tease me with letting me get all the way to the purchase button and then hey, it's out of stock. Nice
Yikes.
try.
Yeet.
One thing that I thought was pretty cool was they actually like just integrate the store into their main menu. Like there you go to the section for it, but it's not like you click into the app, load it up, and then you're in
Yeah.
the store. So it's just like you can just see the deals and stuff on your home screen. But I just hope that it doesn't like bleed into the rest of it. Like you still go to a separate section for it. So
Yeah, and Xbox is like dipping their toe towards that.
mhm.
But it's really just through their Game Pass where it's like those games just appear as recommendations that lead you to get the subscription and then to eventually to that tab, but it's not that seamless, you know.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how it goes and when we can get our hands on one. But hopefully you enjoyed getting your hands on this episode. And
Hey.
we we got a new set, but it's still gonna make changes in the future. We're not perfected it yet. Kevin's back out, dang it. Um anyway,
Live free or
the
die
next
hard, bruh.
season the next season of Dark Mode, season 2.0, Tiger, I guess we're gonna call it. We're gonna go with the animal theme. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. But expect big content in between.
Dude, huge. Huge. More brands. We're gonna get sponsored. We're gonna have jumpsuits. What's gonna happen, dude?
Keegan, you forgetting, or what? Sorry, Kevin. You know you're supposed to say the like,
Dude,
subscribe,
chill
and
out. You're trying to throw
notification.
hands?
No,
Trying
you
to
gotta,
throw hands, calling me wrong names? Okay.
Kevin, like,
Shit.
subscribe, and or whatever. You know how to do it. Your hand went off the screen. You didn't even say anything either.
Yeah, I don't need to. Kevin doesn't need to.
All right, bye. See you next week. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Bye.